Here we go. Spoiler alert, audience.
Hello, happy Monday. Welcome to the Jason Show. And look at this. It's not Jason at the Jason Show. Whenever that happens, it's always like, oh, hey, how's it going? It's Kendall and Shayne today.
What? I'm only here when Jason's at Disney.
It's the only time she gets to come back into the studio. What did we call this last time? The cane or the Shendel?
I think Shendel might have
that's what we decided.
won.
Can we,
just because it's a little more awkward.
So it says Shendel?
The Shendel Show.
We could.
No one's tuning in for that. Name alone is going to turn people really off.
Well, you haven't been in studio since March. This is your first time actually in Fox 9 headquarters, right?
Yes. Yeah, early March. And I wasn't sure if my key card was going to work. I wasn't sure if I could find it. And my favorite thing is I got into the dressing room to get ready, and I had a shirt in there that's been there since March that I really liked.
That's your shirt?
That's my shirt. It's very dusty.
It's got dust all over.
Have you
people.
noticed? Oh.
I walked in the first time, so this was maybe 2 weeks ago. It was my first time back, and it was sort of the same thing. You walk in, and like I have a spare pair of shoes here in case I ever forget.
Right.
And they're just coated in dust. It's just disgusting. I mean, it's just like very basic here, but it's different. But you know, being back at work is so nice, I think, for anyone.
It feels good.
Yeah.
It's like, am I going to be emotional? I wasn't, but it was cool. It's nice to be back and seeing all your face. I mean, I haven't seen anybody in person in a very long time from the station.
Right. It feels like we do because everyone at home sees us on camera at the same time, but we're not, it's not the same thing as physically being next to each other. And like what you do, you don't even see what you're looking at. You don't have a screen in front of you like this. So you literally don't
just get to hear y'all.
Get to hear us. And now you get to hear Ted. Hi, Ted.
He hasn't said hi yet, actually.
He hasn't said, well, he'll be tuning in right now because let's see. It's time for the hot dish, and this one's a big one. Hot dish! Don't worry, I didn't put my mouth on it, anyone. It's okay. This is sanitary. It is safe. Jason, we will Lysol that when you get back. All right, this is why Ted is tuning in, because Bachelor Nation could be in the midst of a crisis, the likes of which the reality TV world has never seen. That was dramatic.
So dramatic.
It's so true, though. You remember Claire Crawley. This is her. She was selected to be the Bachelorette, and after shooting the show was delayed because of COVID, production resumed a few weeks ago in a bit of a different format. But now the rumors are swirling that Claire is no longer the Bachelorette. Some Bachelor blogs are saying Claire refused to shoot the rest of the season after falling hard for someone early on. Like literally wouldn't shoot anymore. Leaving producers in a scramble to finish the season, which, if you don't have a Bachelorette, it's a bit of an issue.
It's a problem.
Yeah. One of the rumors is that Tayshia Adams, this is her, has been brought in to serve as the Bachelorette. Now, Reality Steve, he's always got all the juice. He confirmed that she was quarantining at the California resort where filming is happening, and that they were calling some of the eliminated guys back. Like, they gone and now they back. Tayshia was a contestant on Colton's season, if you recognize her. That's where she was from The Bachelor, and then she appeared on the Bachelor in Paradise franchise. There's a bit of a time crunch, though. ABC has planned to air The Bachelorette this fall. This fall in 4 weeks on Tuesday nights. Now, Shayne, I know you're a massive Bachelorette fan, as am I, as we know Ted is, so if he starts just talking, we'll know why. He can't help himself. Okay, I have to say, I knew Claire wasn't going to be a great Bachelorette. Like, she was a nutcase on all of the different seasons she's been on. So it's surprising that she locked herself in a room, supposedly.
After falling in love on night one?
Right.
This is perfectly Claire.
This is so perfect.
And maybe this is good for them, because let's be honest, I would rather watch a Tayshia season. And I'm gonna say, it has nothing to do with Claire's age. I love that she's older, actually. It has more to do with the fact that we've seen her on 114 different editions of The Bachelor, and every time she was eliminated in some crazy cloud of drama.
Right.
Every single
more time.
So.
And I 100% agree. When they picked her in the first place, it was already kind of like, why are we doing this?
Why, a little surprised too.
What's the heads up here? Now, the craziest part too is that Tayshia's doing it in that I think, and it sounds like you agree, they should have just gone with her in the first place. Because if you don't watch the show, she was on Colton's season. She was the last 3, I think.
3 or 4, yeah.
Yeah, because he sent home a chunk of girls, before the end. He got the one girl and he was like, all right, I'm done with all you. So again, another dramatic, the most dramatic season ever. But she was fantastic, and people liked her on Bachelor in Paradise. She's a woman of color, so it's like we need more of that in The Bachelor too. If it's true, it's gonna be good.
One can only hope, and I am so hoping. I also read, and this may or may not be true, that
What?
So when the coronavirus and everyone kind of went to shut down and they didn't film the show, that she started making connections with some of the guys online before they had actually met, because she knew, Reality Steve already knows who's been cast and it's out there.
Yeah.
And so I heard that they made a connection well before the show. Night one, she gives him her rose or whatever, and that's the end.
Are you serious? Like literally before anything, they were just done so.
And I've heard that a lot of people do this. They connect ahead of time online and kind of already form this relationship, which isn't fair.
They're cheating the system. They're cheating.
We're
us.
left out of their little love lives and they have to let us in. That's how this works.
Ted, do you have anything to add to this drama?
I know, why are we not checking with him?
We summed it up pretty well for you?
Thanks.
Okay. He loves Tayshia.
Not surprised. All right, next up in the dish, Ellen says that she is not going anywhere, at least according to her executive producers. There were some rumors circulating this weekend that she may be looking for a way out of her talk show following reports of a toxic work environment. But those closest to her say that's not true. They say she's very upset about what's happened and is determined to fix the problems. Her Hollywood friends have mostly been pretty silent during this whole thing, which is telling. But she does have one celebrity throwing his support behind her, Scooter Braun. Who is Taylor Swift's arch nemesis and Justin Bieber's manager, and maybe not the person you want backing you
In your corner.
as your one person in your corner.
Well, when I first read this, I was like, who dat? Scooter Braun. And then I was like, oh yeah, he's very dramatic, that one. So great, like you said, to have him backing you up. Now, when all this started, so this was what? Right around when COVID started, she was doing her at-home episodes. Folks who worked for her were saying that she kind of just let them all be and then hired a different production staff,
Like
supposedly.
non-union.
Yeah, and had them come in and help her, and then all this bad things about the work environment that were happening. I don't know, we always say whenever there's smoke, there's fire. It doesn't seem that off to me that there would at least be conversations of, hey, if this doesn't go well, what are our next options? Because what has it been, 17 years or something like that she's been around? You're not just gonna drop a show. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that they would actually put Ellen off and put James Corden supposedly
Oh yeah, because that's the rumor, right? I mean, do people want to watch there's been now New York Times articles and Washington Post articles, and if you read the blind items, she gets dragged a lot in those. That apparently she's not very nice, but I hate thinking this because I actually really like her. I think she's funny.
Right.
She always dances. She gives away money to people.
She gives away money. We love her.
She seems to be doing all the right things and putting out this really great front. So she is a really great actress if that's truly like the opposite of the person she is. Can I just say I want to look at you when I talk to you?
I know, it's
but
very
then
difficult.
I'm looking over like.
I know.
Anyway.
People at home, we really apologize.
She's right there.
We're right here, and as you see when we we call it the bump shot when we leave, that's how we all look at each other. And when I'm looking at Jason, it's the same thing, but when we're this way.
Trying to decide which person I should look at. Anyway, now you're in on what's happening here too.
Yes, you're welcome everyone. Okay, next in the dish, American Idol was renewed for another season. It's its fourth on ABC, and producers are going ahead with the new season amid the pandemic, but the auditions won't look anything like this.
She bangs, oh baby, when she moves. I go crazy cause she looks like a flower, but she stings like a bee, like every girl in history. She bangs, I'm wasted by the way
Thank you.
Thank you. Aww. Thank you, Simon. Thank you. Oh, that was good old William Hung way back in season 3 of The Good Old Idol when it was right here on Fox. Gosh, I forgot about that. That was so good. So good. He was such a nice guy, too. He was such a nice guy. All right. Well, instead of their usual...
he got a hit out of that.
I mean, right?
Yeah.
I mean, people
He made
loved
that work
him.
for him.
It worked. Instead of their usual bus tour across America, auditions will now be virtual. Thanks to Zoom, because of course Zoom of course has a part of this. They have a custom technology with it, and auditions begin in a week. Custom technology, it makes sense. I'm a little like, how can it be that different from what we've already done on Zoom? Is the sound better? I mean,
so I'm sure they'll send them each a microphone would be my guess. So they can at least plug in like a hard mic, hard line, so it sounds better, but you still have the background, you still have the internet. which may or may not give you a clean signal, as we have found out many times. I don't know if I want, I mean, there's the part that you're like, it's fun to see inside people's lives a little.
Right. But like, I don't know if I want Joe
No
Schmo's living room.
Do you know, side note, this is again, I was at the Mall of America one day.
Yeah.
I'm going somewhere, I promise. And I'm walking and I see this guy and he's got like 4 girls following him. And I'm like, that looks a lot like William Hung.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he was here for some kind of a show and then he was just shopping at the Mall of America and he had girls tailing him. I had to do some Googling, but I was like, it was him. And then I tried to find him again for a picture, but couldn't. Yeah.
Stop.
Just
Ladies were
walking the mall.
following that guy.
Yeah.
Like,
he's got
just
fans.
like little ducks.
Heck, I was trying to find him again. I wanted that picture.
Can you sing for me, please?
Just I'll do it with you.
Oh my gosh. I don't know, man. If I saw William Hung at the Mall of America, I'd probably do the same thing. But I actually wouldn't even know who he is. I forgot about him until we just watched that clip. I was like, I was reading it and I was like, who is that? And then shebang. It took a minute, but I figured out who it was and gold. It's going to be.
It was a moment.
It was a moment. We'll see what it looks like. It should be interesting.
Yeah.
For all of us mere mortals who use Zoom the normal way. We'll see. All right, still ahead, it was the hottest music festival that never ever happened. Now you can get a piece of the Fire Festival.
Plus, it's the return we've been waiting for, one of America's favorite game shows. And mine is back in production.
Shane, is that you? Look at that.
Yes.
And then Cats the Musical got really mostly terrible reviews. But what did the man who wrote the original music think of the movie? That and more when the Jason Show returns.
For all those crowds.
You like that? You like that?
About to go to Fire Festival.
Could be amazing, could be a disaster.
Fire Festival was supposed to be the new Coachella, the new Burning Man.
Exclusivity with access to premier talent.
It was going to be an experience bordering on impossible.
What's the worst thing that could possibly happen?
Nightmare in Paradise.
There was no music.
They were put into disaster relief tents.
People started to have breakdowns. People started to have panic attacks. No idea what they were doing.
It was also a health concern that there were people literally trapped on an island.
It was a show. Just chaos and anarchy.
It's a great time to be a con man in America.
Whatever it takes, we are all in, and let's go and make this happen.
That is a clip from the trailer for the Hulu documentary Fire Fraud, based on the infamous Fire Festival. Now, the luxury music festival on an island never actually happened. The organizer, Billy McFarland, is serving time in prison for wire fraud charges, and now U.S. Marshals are selling Fire Festival merchandise owned by Billy, but never sold. Now, this is an attempt to actually raise money to pay his victims, not just to make money on the side. How much can it actually raise? Well, the bid price for a Fire Festival hat right now is at $300.
Oh, God.
Other items include sweatpants, sweatshirts, t-shirts, all overpriced, but for a good cause.
The Fire Fraud. What a great name for the title of a show. Isn't that fantastic?
It's so good.
So good. You can get your own fire merchandise. Welcome back to the Jason Show, by the way. If you're just joining us, Kendall and Shayne in while Jason vacations away. He's got his nice 2 weeks of just some R&R.
Well deserved.
Yes, well deserved. You know, Mondays we get a special serving of hot dish all the way from Hollywood. Please give it up for Brad from TMZ. Hey, Brad.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. All right, we've been following this. You've been telling us about this. What's the latest with Kanye?
Well, if you've been following it the last couple of weeks, you know that there's been a rocky patch between Kim and Kanye, especially in their marriage. Accusations of cheating. He said he wanted a divorce. Latest I can tell you is they set off on a family trip yesterday. Kim and kids flew from Los Angeles, picked Kanye up in Wyoming, and they headed to a undisclosed location. So unclear where, obviously, with travel restrictions. There's not a whole lot of places they can go outside the United States, but we're told the whole point of this trip is to kind of reset things, come together once again as a family, try and fix some things as a couple, and we'll see what happens from here. I do know that this is going to be an uphill battle. It'll be a tough one, but there's 4 young kids here, so let's hope that mom and dad can help work things out.
I like that they're giving it a try, and you know how you know if this is a real try is if there are no paparazzi pictures of wherever they go. And if there are paparazzi pictures, then they tipped him off, and it's just another story for them.
Yeah, we'll see. I do know that a lot of people are trying to figure out where it's at, but hopefully they can work things out regardless.
Take that time. All right, well, the TikTokers, they're freaking out. What's happening with the social media app, of which I am not a member?
Well, they're freaking out because President Trump has said he wanted to ban TikTok. It's a Chinese-owned company, and he wants it to be American-owned. TikTokers may have a hero in Microsoft, because over the weekend, Microsoft did confirm that they're in negotiations to try and buy the company. And of course, if they buy it, that's an American company. It'll be saved. And TikTokers can continue to TikTok or whatever that is that they do on that app.
Whatever it is that they do. Microsoft making the teenage dream a reality. Well,
Absolutely.
Zac Efron is looking for a change in scenery. What does this mean?
Well,
What's he up to?
He is. So he has a new show on Netflix where he kind of travels the world. And throughout the show, he says, you know, this has kind of shown me I got to get away from Hollywood. I got to get away from Los Angeles. So we've spoken with some people around Zac who say, you know what, it wasn't just him on the show saying this. He's really going to do it. He's looking to buy a place over in Australia to get away. He'll continue to travel for his work. So it's not really like he'll need to be here in Hollywood. And he's kind of learned, like so many of us have, that these in-person meetings that a lot of companies require can be done digitally. So he feels that he can work remote, enjoy kind of the outback, and go from there.
Sounds lucky. I mean, like, if you could live anywhere in the world and know you can fly where you need to get, why not?
Exactly.
Absolutely. All right, Brad from TMZ, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Have fun on TikTok.
Okay, Shane, for real though, can we get a hold of his people and just tell him he can just move to Minnesota? I would be fine with some Zac Efron sightings right there at Damacoska, like, hey, boy.
I only laugh because I know we're headed toward, like, we're closer to winter than we're not. So I feel like maybe next spring we have a better shot of landing him.
Well, just so you know, Zac, if you really want to get away, there's nobody here in the winter. So just come join us.
Hide
it's
out.
Fine. Come hang out. All right, next to the dish, the long wait for the return of one of America's favorite grocery store game shows, aka Shane's favorite grocery store game show, is getting shorter. Production for the Supermarket Sweep Revival is back underway with Leslie Jones hosting the game. And there's Shane again with her perm.
That actually looks like the hair I had.
Totally.
When we dressed
it could
up
be
that
you.
way.
It's your doppelganger. Shooting started on Friday with rigorous health and safety protocols in place for everyone on, of course, the show. It will air Sunday nights, but there's no word on a debut date. And I mean, I don't know. I'm like.
Have you watched it?
No.
You're young. Okay.
Tell me, why do I need to watch a show about grocery shopping? Because I hate going to the grocery store.
Right. And maybe, I don't know, maybe there's something to that. I liked watching this when I was a kid even. I thought it was really fun. They race around. You always want to get the big meat. And you scoop the big meat.
It's like real life. Get the big meat.
Yeah, you want the big meat, you want the wine, the expensive things in your cart. I don't know what is so appealing about this show, but it was so fun. I think it's because you want to take a grocery cart, run around, and put all the fanciest items in your cart, and then run out.
You know, I could see that. Well, you know, obviously, whenever we do a supermarket sweep story, we have to go in the Jason Shull vault and find one of the greatest costumes to ever hit the airwaves, courtesy of Shane right here.
See, I had that hair.
Look at her. Halloween of 2018, people. Jason Shayne owning the produce aisle. I like how that's written. Thank you, Ted, for writing that like it was actually something that was important that needed to be said. You were owning the produce aisle.
You know it. And we had to send Eric to Cub Foods to borrow some shopping carts and
when you
walk
say
them over
borrow
here.
like this, everyone.
We
had permission. Jeff says we had permission.
It's not a quick walk though. Didn't he walk him here?
Yeah. What?
Like it's across 494.
Okay, y'all. Okay, if you're not familiar with Eden Prairie, 494, a major interstate, runs between I know, Fox is here,
between us.
Cub is here, and there's a little area you can go underneath the interstate. Sure, minor detail, but you have to walk, I would say, what, like a half mile at least?
With two full-size shopping carts. I wish I could have seen, we should have taken video of that. We missed an opportunity, guys.
Probably.
All right, next to the dish, Courtney Cox is ready to reprise her role. No, not Monica. Think Scarier. Do you remember the 90s teen slasher movie?
On this campus. Hi, Gail Weathers, field correspondent, top story.
I know who you are, Miss Weathers. How's the eye?
It's productive. Is there a problem on campus?
No, everything's under control.
Well, of course, you're here.
You're not supposed to be here.
I know. I should be in New York covering the Sharon Stone stalker, but Who knew? You look awfully young to be a police officer.
I'm 25 years old.
You know, in a demographic study, I proved to be most popular amongst males 11 to 24. I guess I just missed you.
That's Gale Weathers. She's coming back. Courtney has signed on for Scream 5. Woo! The franchise began in '96. Scream 4 debuted in 2011. That's a long time, as the whole 4 films have made $600 million. The 5th installment is slated to debut sometime next year. I don't think I saw the last 2. I think I saw Scream 2 because I had high hopes because Scream 1 was fun.
So good. $600 million. I am surprised by that number because it's a horror flick. I mean, I'm not a big movie person. Like, this is where Jason would be great to be like, is that normal? But I don't think that it's normal for a horror flick to gross that because they don't usually cost that much money to make.
That's true. They made a lot, but it was like cult class. I mean, it was a big smash hit in '96. It was a big deal.
The face. That's all I can think of.
Oh, and it was so
face.
Creepy.
With the
still creepy. Thank you for that reenactment. What were those sounds again?
It was like more like this.
Don't ever try to hurt somebody with that spatula. It's not going to do anything. Next in the dish, it was one of the producer Ted's most controversial movie reviews of all time. Take a look to find out which one it is.
Here we go.
Cats. Ted liked it, guys. Ted also really likes Hallmark movies. Nobody else liked it, including Andrew Lloyd Webber. So he wrote the original music. He said the whole thing was ridiculous. He blamed the director for demanding that anyone who had anything to do with the original stay away. So Cats ended up winning Worst Picture at this year's Razzies. They lost Universal more than $100 million. Did you watch it, Kendall?
No, I haven't seen it because, again, I'm really bad with the movies. But I think my favorite part about all of this is that he's like, none of you who were actually involved in making this a successful production on Broadway were actually involved in this movie. Like, who thought that that would work? Cats is already weird. It's a weird movie. It's weird, and it's a weird production. Why would you just not involve the original people? Because clearly they were at least able to bring it to kind of cat life.
Probably needed a little, like, I think it's the egotistical thing, like my touch is gonna turn this into magic, but it already had its thing going, its quirkiness. I saw it in Broadway, but I never saw the movie. Although Ted would suggest we should all see it.
No, I don't think we should. And you know what? I saw the, he said to give it a chance. That's nice. No, I saw the one that they made. I don't know if it was on PBS or it was on something that they actually filmed the Broadway show. And I was so scared. I was a kid, and this is like in the 90s. My mother had to like find me because I was hiding from the cats. Like under the kitchen table.
It terrified you.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
Do you like cats to this day?
I just don't like how they moved. It was like, like people shouldn't lick themselves, y'all. It's disgusting. Hello, this is how we're in a pandemic. Y'all licking yourself. It's disgusting. It's not how we're
Problem
in a pandemic.
solved.
That was a joke. All right, folks, still ahead. We're talking about your skincare routine and how to keep it great for under $30.
But next, it is book club time. Kendall's mom joins us with her picks for August. What should you be reading? We will tell you when we return.
Oh, look at
She's
Mom.
so cute. She gets her own graphic.
And welcome back to the Jason Show. Jason's on vacation for a little bit. Kendall and Shayne filling in, and good thing I'm here because the next lovely lady I happen to know very well. Summer is a great season to read a good book, and if you're looking for a new book to get lost in, well, we're helping you out today. You all love the recommendations my mom offered a few months ago, so she's back on the show. My mom, Sid Mark. Good morning, Mom.
Good morning, Kendall. Nice to see you.
Good to see you too. It's so weird to see you on TV and see your living room. I'm like, hi, Mom. Mom's
I
living
know.
room behind you.
I know. There's a lot of stuff on those shelves back there if you get bored with our discussion.
just look through the shelves. So before we get into your books, Mom, I just want to tell people at home, if you missed last time, we talked about a couple of things that we like to read, because my mom actually works for a local library, specifically with children. So there's going to be a teenage book she recommends. So this is not just me and my mom going, we like to read. She actually knows what she's talking about. So the first book, everything that you're talking about today sort of has a theme, right?
Yes, correct. Somehow we managed to end up with the same theme, even though we didn't really talk about it prior to this event. You read a book that's a nonfiction, but my books are all called historical fiction. So same amount of, copious amount of research, multi-generational books, strong female protagonists, inspirational.
Yes.
Yes.
We love those. And we both love these kind of books. So let's get started with the first one. This one actually, of course, has a woman in the title. The Book Woman of Troublesome Creek by Kim Michelle Richardson. What's this about?
Well, this is a story of our protagonist. Her name is Pussy Mary. She is a member of an actual society. It was called the Pack Horse Librarian Project, which was started by Franklin Delano Roosevelt during the Depression. This librarian project was started to help employ women, of course, but also Eleanor Roosevelt was very much she pushed for education and reading materials, and she wanted those reading materials to be able to be taken out into some of the most remote areas of the country, one of which was, of course, the Appalachian Mountains.
Okay.
Another twist to this book would be the fact that our heroine happens to be the last in a line of rare blue-skinned Kentuckians. I don't know if you've ever heard of the blue-skinned people of Kentucky.
No.
But this was an actual, these people were blue, and it ended up being a rare blood disorder, but at the time, they were looked upon just like blacks or any other race that, you know, the whites were not trusting of.
Okay.
And so she doesn't just battle the, you know, the business of being a pack horse librarian, where she goes in these treacherous areas in the mountains, very dangerous. She also faces prejudice, illiteracy, suspicion because of her skin color, and a lot of danger. I honestly, this is one of my favorite characters of all times.
Really?
I cannot get Pussy Mary's voice out of my head. She was so strong and so determined and so kind, despite all the things that were up against her. So, excellent book. Highly recommend it.
Okay. The next one is also called The Book, but The Book of Lost Friends by Lisa Wingate. What's this one all about?
Yes. Lisa Wingate's a pretty well-known historical fiction writer. She does incredible research. So this was also inspired by true events, of course. There was an ad back post-Civil War days when there were a lot of free states trying to find their family members, because many people were broken apart, sold to different families. They had no idea how to find them. And the only way they could was to memorize every event when one of their family members was taken away, and then pass this down through word of mouth. And finally, someone came up with an idea of placing ads in this Christian newspaper that were seeking information about family members. And it was called the Lost Friends column. So a true story. It was a very good way for people to try to reach out and find their family members. This is a story that's based on the Gossets, which are Louisiana slave owners and their descendants. And they happen to be the thread that connects both of our protagonists. This is one of those books that has taken place both in 1875, which is where we meet Hanny Gossett. She's a freed slave searching for her family. And then we meet Benny in 1987, who's a new teacher in a very rough school district. So it's Benny's attempts to engage her students in a project that lead to unveiling Hanny's stories. This book was a little different for me. Go ahead.
Sorry, so it goes back and forth between two completely different like centuries, essentially, of women.
Different centuries, about 100 years apart, and it goes back and forth. So when it first began, this was one of the first books I've ever listened to on audio, because I wanted to read it very badly, and it wasn't available in book form. So I've got a Playaway, which I just tucked in my pocket and took on my walks with me. And I think that this was a really good way to listen to this particular book, because at the very beginning, there are numerous characters that are introduced for the first 2 to 4 chapters, and you can almost get a little lost in that. So you have to power your way through it. but by listening to this on audio with incredible reader, by the way, it was easier to keep the characters straight. And then as the book progressed, you just become immersed in their lives and all the craziness that happens to them. And again, just like Cussy Mary, so determined, so strong, so just very loving, wonderful people. And it's a fabulous book. So
just inspirational women.
Highly recommended as well.
Yeah, I like the inspirational.
And it's all
women
about
thing.
women.
All right,
Yes,
finally,
absolutely.
we've got about 30 seconds, Mom. You had one for
Okay, I'll do really fast.
Okay.
So this
one
book
for
is
the
called
young
Apple
adults.
Mountain by Lauren Wolk, also written during the Depression. We've got a 12-year-old protagonist this time. Her family has lost everything in the Depression, and they have moved into the mountains of rural Maine. It's called Echo Mountain. She actually loves where she lives and found she's got this bizarre and wonderful connection with the nature around her. Unfortunately, her father has an accident. He slips into a coma. There's basically no help for him and no hope. And so she's determined to find a way to make him better, to find a cure for him. This leads her on this, up the mountain to find the hag, a woman who the people around are very suspicious of. They think she's a witch, but Ellie is she thinks that she possesses some healing powers. And so it's just this journey through the woods with this young woman who's incredibly resilient, just like all the other people in the books we just talked about. So amazing book. And you can read that book around 10 and up, I would say. But again, one of the day books that's fabulous for all ages.
Well, thank you, Mom, so much for joining us today. I loved the theme of all of the empowered women, especially going through hard times like a lot of people might be feeling right now. If you missed any of the book recommendations or want to share this with your friends, we'll be posting this entire segment on our Facebook and YouTube pages. You just have to search for Jason Show TV. We'll have all the titles right there. Now, still ahead, your skin will never be the same. The best products, all for under just $30. But next, not a fan of camping? How about glamping? Shayne's taking us outside when we come back. Hello. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back to the Jason Show. Now, camping trips to the cabin are more popular than ever this summer. Thank you, with people staying closer to home.
But if that's not exactly like camping that you want to do, maybe you go glamping instead. So earlier this morning, I learned how to transform any camping experience. Welcome to my glam site. This is what I'm talking about. Camping and glamorous together make glamping. No, that doesn't really work, does it? How did they come up with that? Kenny Young, maybe he knows the answer. He's with Pitched Minneapolis. They come and basically set up this great experience in your yard.
Yeah.
So it's camping and glamour?
It's glamour and camping. Glamping. Yep, that's what we do. That's what we do.
That was the hardest part of my day right there. We put that together. Tell us about what you set up here. Actually, can we do like crib style here? So,
sure.
Chip, can you put some music on this? No. Okay, so pretend there's some really funky music and show us your crib.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you walk right inside, of course you'll notice all the rugs. This is glamping. So they got all the linens out here, the rugs on the floor. We have a couple of camping chairs, super nice with some Sherpa coverings.
Love the fur, yeah.
Yep. We have a memory foam bed. So no sinking in the middle of the night, no sleeping on rocks. It's a memory foam bed on a bed frame. We have the linens, we have some decor, tables. We even have a movie theater on the right-hand side here.
Of course you do.
Of course, yep. You can,
what's a preferable movie to watch under the stars?
Nothing scary, preferably, for me.
That's true. That's a great.
No scary movies. So you can stream all your favorite movies and shows outside. We got a kapoof. We even have some picnic tables here, so you can enjoy an outdoor meal or play some games outside under the stars. Yeah, that's kind of our full setup.
You can pretty much go anywhere.
Yep.
Set this up. I mean, as long as there's enough space in somebody's yard, right?
Yep. About 20 by 20 is what we typically ask for. Is all we need.
And what are people using the tent for? I mean, my first thought was my daughter. She's 6, and I think she would love to have her friends here to watch like the new Trolls movie or whatever, and have a little party. What are other people doing?
You can have it just for something fun to do. You know, kids are cooped up inside. Mom, Dad, you want to date inside? we'll send the kids outside.
Okay.
And or you can do this for birthday parties, anniversaries. We've done bachelorette parties and such like that. So it's really good for any kind of occasion that you want to just be outside, enjoy a night under the stars.
Really, it's such a good idea because buying all the stuff to go camping is expensive.
Yep, it is.
Setting it all up is expensive. Finding somewhere to set it up is expensive. And in this case, you have a kitchen and you have a bathroom just a few steps away.
Yep. And as you said,
Genius.
the takedown the next day is the worst.
The worst?
We take care of all that for you.
For us. But you guys do it.
Yeah, we take care of all of it for you.
See, there you go. Okay, great. So it's Pitch MPLS. Kenny, thank you so much for joining us. Happy glamping, everyone.
Happy glamping.
Camping, it was always you wake up on a flattened air mattress, you're wet, you're cold.
It's miserable. No, I mean, I like camping now, but I get like 3 nights max. I could stay for like a week in
I was thinking 2.
I was thinking just the short weekend, that's it.
Clearly that's more my style. All right, still ahead, need to change up your skincare routine? We will give you some tips and it is not gonna break the bank. We'll be right back. That's the key.
Open any celebrity magazine and you hear about the expensive skincare products that the stars use. You're like, I can't afford that. But you don't need to spend big bucks to look great. I recently talked to local esthetician Lindsay White about the top skincare products under 30 bucks.
You just said something to me that I was like, tell me what you were just talking about things being so inexpensive that it sort of blew my mind.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people get really overwhelmed looking at, okay, I need a cleanser, I need a moisturizer, I need all this, and then they see dollar signs kind of going up. But a lot of products will last you 4 to 6 months on average, some maybe even a little bit longer, like, a sunscreen. But if you kind of break it up, okay, here are my kind of basic things that I need for my skincare. How much altogether is this going to be a day? And the list that we came up with today, for 4 to 6 months, it's only $1 a day to have a full-fledged, powerful skincare routine.
Great. Okay, so we've got my little cheat sheet. We've got cleansers, serums, moisturizers, eye cream, and sunscreen.
Yes.
Focus on cleansers first. The one out of the 2 that you brought up to me, the one that you said was really great was this Elta MD foaming cleanser with enzymes.
Yes. So the reason why I love this cleanser is because it actually also acts as an exfoliator. So it's kind of a 2-in-1 product, which is amazing. If you can ever find kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone scenario, this is one of those situations. And you want to exfoliate because it's going to, kind of remove that top layer of dead skin cells. So it's going to make you look refreshed, glowing, and it's also going to promote collagen production. And who doesn't want that? So this one is with light enzymes, which will lightly exfoliate, and it's good for all skin types. And the really awesome thing about this cleanser that I love is that it's sulfate-free and it's pH balanced to our skin type, so it won't cause any irritation.
Love it, for $27.
For $27.
Serums, you had 3 on there, but we're going to focus on 2. The one was Reviva Labs Hyaluronic Acid Serum.
Yes, I've talked about hyaluronic acid with y'all before. It's like a wonder ingredient. This one that I recommended, it's $25. And a lot of hyaluronic acid serums that are under that 30 mark, you'll look at the ingredient list and there'll be like literally 60 ingredients listed. And you're like, okay, I just want hyaluronic acid. This particular serum for a great price is mostly hyaluronic acid. There's a little aloe and green tea in there, so it's super soothing, which is great for summertime if you get sunburnt, but it's gonna plump and hydrate your skin, and it goes a long way.
Love that. And then Skin Actives Scientific Vitamin C.
Yes, so a couple things. I love this company, Skin Actives. It's based out of Phoenix, but you can buy it online. It's created by a biochemist. She creates really amazing products with really powerful ingredients for an affordable price. And this vitamin C is a 20% L-ascorbic acid, which usually for a 20% L-ascorbic acid, you're spending anywhere from the $80 to the $100 range. So you're really saving your money on this product.
moisturizers. We've got 3 that you liked, but one that you want to focus on.
But it's actually pronounced jojoba oil. It's my favorite facial oil. And I actually sub this out for a cream moisturizer myself because it is non-comedogenic and it's just a really lightweight oil. And what I mean by non-comedogenic is it's not going to create zits in the skin.
Oh,
right.
Zit.
Yeah, no zits. Non-comedogenic, and it's a really light oil. I, in the wintertime, literally lather my whole body with it, but in the summertime, just at nighttime, I put it on my face, and it's so refreshing, and it's really hydrating for the skin.
Eye cream, you've got 2, but one of them, and I really like the name, I'm kind of big on names, so I'd probably pick it up just for that, is Mad Hippie Eye Cream for $25.
Yes, I love this eye cream because, well, yes, I agree with you. I think it's a hilarious title as well. For those people who are going more towards like those botanical-based products, this is a great line for them. And I love this one because it comes with a complex of 3 peptides. And you can think of peptides basically as food for collagen. It's going to really reduce the fine lines and wrinkles around your eyes. It also has a little bit of white tea in there, which includes caffeine. And caffeine is great for eye creams because it stimulates fluid movement that builds up, that creates that puffy look in the morning time. So white tea is a great way just to kind of get some of that fluid away from your under eyes.
So it both helps with puffiness and with not wanting wrinkles.
Exactly, which is like, you know, all you could want from an eye cream.
All right, and sunscreen. It is summer. There's 2 of them. I loved Neutrogena because that just is going to ring to people like, oh, I know what that is. But the one you were focusing on is Supergoop Powder SPF 45.
Yes, so the reason why I chose this one to talk about is because it is a powder SPF and it comes in a container with a brush. My biggest bone that I've ever had to pick with sunscreen is that they say apply every 4 hours for optimal protection, but then you put on a full face of makeup. I'm not going to take off my makeup to put on more sunscreen. So this one, you can literally just apply throughout the day, and so you're going to stay protected throughout the day, and you're also going to look really flawless because you're reapplying a little touch-up makeup throughout the day too.
Great. Okay, so a lot of this stuff, if people haven't heard of it, we will have that full list for everyone. I know a lot of this, can you find it at the drugstores? Is it mostly like you got to go online, you got to go into a salon?
Yeah, so a lot of them you can find, you know, Target, Whole Foods, grocery stores, those types of places. And some of them, like I said, the one that's based out of Phoenix, you know, that's an online store, but, you know, yeah.
Okay. People want to know more about you or ask you any questions, where can they find you?
Yes, please reach out. Skin Health by Lindsay. I'm always available on Instagram to answer your questions, or my website, skinhealthbylindsay.com.
Well, people, $30 and under for products. You better be using it. I love
yeah,
it.
No excuses.
No excuses. All right. Well, thank you so much, Lindsay. Folks, check her out if you'd like to. You saw that, Skin Health by Lindsay. Stick around. The Jason Show will be right back.
Good to see you here, folks. Welcome back to the Jason Show. Oldie here, checking in. Shayne Wells with Kendall. I am the oldie. I was here from day one, man.
You're the OG.
OG.
The original
okay, I'll
gangster.
take it. I've never described myself that way.
But
you're
that
young
way.
enough and cool enough and hip enough to pull that off. So thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, folks, you can stay connected with our show on social media. Just check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All you got to do is type in Jason Show TV. You can also watch all of our segments. We post them there, and we'll post full episodes on our YouTube page. So don't tell me you missed the show. You can watch it there.
No excuses. All right, we'll be back after the break. We're hopping on the gram. We'll explain. Coming up.
You see, you're young enough for the gram.
The gram. Someone wrote it for me. Welcome back to the Jason Show. Jason's off, little R&R vacation. She had Kendall and I today, and we are going to show you what's happening on the gram. So first up, fans of Adele, they're sort of freaking out a little because she posted this picture, and she is wearing the same outfit as Beyonce in her new visual album, Black is King, and she I mean, she's really unrecognizable. I had to do a double take on this. She wrote, "Thank you, Queen, for always making us feel so loved through your art." Almost 4 million people tapped the like button.
She does look so different. Like, whoa. Doesn't even look like her.
I mean, it's even like the hair, like is different.
the hair.
The color's different. The curl style's
the whole
different.
thing.
Obviously, she's lost some weight, so her face shapes a little bit different.
Totally different.
And then where did she find her moon outfit or whatever that is? How do you just find one of those?
She probably just Googled it, you know.
Just Amazon?
She just Amazon typed that one out. It's been fun today working with you, and we'll be here for the next 2 weeks too, folks, just a heads up. So if you like us, stick around. We absolutely love filling in for Jason again. He'll be back in about 2 weeks' time. And in the meantime, it's the Shendel.
We're your party. And this is apparently what I do when I party. How about you? No?
Probably the same thing.
Okay.
Tomorrow on the show, staying healthy during the quarantine, Brianna Bernard is back. She's always fantastic with ways to stay motivated and healthy during the pandemic. And we're talking to the director of the new documentary, Red Penguins, about hockey in Russia. We will see you tomorrow on the Jason Show.